There we go. Now we have the mic on because before I didn't turn the freaking microphone on. Sorry, I'm trying not to get like too close to my face because I literally have like so much acne right now. Not like so much, but like I'm breaking out. So that's, yeah. I'm bending over really awkwardly and I'm gonna get a chair. Baby, where's your baby? Lighting in here is not superb, but we're gonna roll with it. So my room is messy. I'm feeling kind of nervous right now. Like, one, because I don't look great right now, but you know, I'm just gonna roll with it because I'm feeling inspired and I really want to be vulnerable in this video. So who knows, I probably won't even post it anywhere. It is Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and for those of you who don't know, I used to struggle with anorexia. I'm in recovery. Ooh, is this even level? Whatever. This is just, I gotta stop. Okay, so I'm doing the thing where I'm like looking at myself and I'm like, wow, I look like crap. Like, let's pick on myself because my eyebrows look bushy and like I look like an egg with hair. But that's not what this is about. I want to talk about self-worth because it is something that I think a lot of people struggle with, if not most. And it's something that I have struggled with my entire life and am still on a journey with. But I just wanted to kind of come on here on a whim and talk about what has helped me in my recovery with my eating disorder and my trauma and my self-worth. So, first things first is that I needed to be willing. A lot of my resistance was related to fear, if not all of it. Fear that it would hurt too much, fear that I would be losing a part of myself that even though I was gonna be healed, like, and not in so much pain, I was gonna lose myself and not have like the same creativity, the same way of connecting to people or feeling empathetic or compassionate. I can safely say now that I've like done a lot of the trauma work and am in almost 3 years of recovery from anorexia that I honestly have become more myself. And I'm not just like saying that to like sound like cheesy or cliche, but it's like totally true. My intuition and like the way I connect and relate to myself is just so much stronger and so much more real than it used to be. Like I used to just like beat myself up all the time, and I still like really struggle with perfectionism, but not to the extent where my health is on the line and to the extent that I'm pushing people away because I want to be perfect for them. The first thing was willingness. If you are willful means basically that you're resistant. Willingness, or being willing, means that you're gonna do it, or like you want to do it and you're open to doing the work to get better. So that is number one thing. I had to open myself up. A few years ago when I was in California for treatment, I was there 6 months, and it took me a good 2 months to actually really be willing to do the work. And my treatment team and my therapist there like recognized that, and I was like, no, I'm ready, like I'm gonna do it. They were like, you're not willing. You're not actually willing. And that was a really big breakthrough for me because I always thought like, no, like of course I don't want to be in pain. Of course I don't want this eating disorder. Of course I don't want to have PTSD or any of the pain that I was feeling. You know, to have people be honest with me and really just like give it to me straight was also really eye-opening. And I think you need people in your life to like really just say like, hey, like this is not okay. Not because it's not okay to feel pain or to struggle, but because I care about you and like you're hurting yourself and you're gonna die if you keep going down this path. And I had a few people in my life that were like that, and it didn't really like stick, honestly, until I got to treatment, and they wouldn't allow me to do the treatment until I was actually willing. Sorry, I'm making like weird hand motions. That's two things: willingness and having people that are honest with you and really being honest with yourself. Third thing was changing my perspective. And I still struggle with body image. It's not something that I'm like I'm not like 100% body positive with myself like all the time, but I've changed my perspective a lot to like, my body is for doing things. My body enables me. My body allows me to be creative and to make art and to hug people and to talk to people, whatever. It allows me to live. And it's always fighting for me to live. And I don't want to like sound preachy or whatever, but that's honestly, that's what our bodies are for. I think it's hard, obviously, in our society where everything is kind of like marketed to us based on like what our insecurities might be. Maybe you didn't even have an insecurity until some marketing ploy was like, hey, you should have this insecurity because you're not good enough. Buy our product and you'll be good enough. This, like, when you think about it, does that really make any freaking sense? You weren't feeling bad about it until someone else said it, which, like, you need to get to a point where, like, the opinion that matters is from yourself. And I think I've finally gotten to that point where, like, I really care about what I think about myself. And I'm not perfect. I still have days where I'm like, I play negative loops in my head, but I've gotten a lot better at reframing things and like doing affirmations that actually resonate with me instead of like Googling like affirmations and like trying to say shit to myself that like doesn't even feel real. I feel like I'm all over the place in this right now. I'm really sorry. I forget what my third point was. What was my third point? What was I saying? No, what was I saying, guys? Guys! Oh my lord. Okay, well, anyway. This is all over the place. Fourth thing is learning to trust yourself. Did I do a third thing? Okay, whatever. Next point. You need to trust your intuition and you need to trust yourself. And I remember what I was saying. Okay, back to the body stuff. Basically what I wanted to say was like, your body is for doing, and I find that when I'm doing things that I love, when I'm doing something creative, when I'm in my flow state, I don't even think about my body. I don't even like, I'm not even like caring about how I look. Like right now, like I kind of care that I like kind of look a little like gross and not like, you know, my typical cute selfie self. But at the same time, like I'm feeling inspired to talk about this. I think talking about this is way more important than like looking hot on the internet. So I don't really give a shit right now. And that feels really good to say because I'm genuine about it. So yeah, that was my third point. I don't know if this is going to be helpful at all. I don't know if I'm going to post this. Fourth thing, you need to trust yourself. And the thing is, you cannot be in touch with your intuition if you are not eating. It's just a fact, okay? Like you just can't. Your mind is not able to connect. Your mind and your body do not connect. You can't have those gut feelings that are actually like, that you can actually trust, because how can you possibly trust yourself if you're not even taking care of yourself? That is crucial. And I want to say that the two biggest things about eating disorder recovery is one, I just cracked my finger, is one, overcoming your trauma or at least processing through it, which if you have an eating disorder, you most likely have some sort of trauma in your life or some sort of limiting belief that you need to rework and reframe. And a lot of my trauma work was, I did prolonged exposure therapy, which I won't like go into the whole process here, but basically it's very intense. And by the end of it, I had a totally different perspective, which still honestly feels unreal to me because I feel so happy thinking about that because I never thought I would see it differently than how I saw it. So overcoming your trauma. And the second thing is eating. So if, and I am referring to anorexia right now. I know there's more than just anorexia for eating disorders. There's bulimia, there's binge eating, there's, etc. This is just from my perspective because one, I know a lot of people who struggle with anorexia, and that's what I've experienced myself. So I'm just coming from that place. And it's so important, relating back to the intuition thing, to develop intuitive eating. And it's so important to eat. And know, like we all know, like anorexia is not about the food. It's not like about the numbers, but like it manifests in that way. But your brain and your body cannot heal if you are not eating. Like it can't. That's just a fact. I'm trying not to like trigger people, but I'll put it like a trigger warning like in the description or whatever. But those two things, like, you need to be really willing to like face your shit, and you have to eat, even if you're not hungry, even if it's hard, even if you're having a bad freaking day. You have to eat. You just have to. You're never gonna get better if you're not taking care of your body. And I mean that with eating. I mean that with, if you're abusing any substances. I mean that just taking a shower, which is funny because I'm like disgusting right now, but that's something that I've always struggled with. Honestly, just to be vulnerable, like cry. Due to the traumas I've been through, it has been very hard for me to take care of my personal hygiene. It's something I'm still working on and that I've gotten better at, and I'm not fully like perfect at. And I think a big part of it is just habit. At this point, it's not so much because I like am having like flashbacks or anything like that. It's more so that I don't want to like say that I'm not used to it, because I do the basic shit, but like I don't shower every day, and a lot of people don't shower every day, but I feel like for my well-being, I need to at least like just hop in the shower for like 5 minutes. Like, even if I don't wash my hair, which like girl needs to wash her hair, but even if I don't wash my hair, like at least like it's me and my body. I'm bathing it, I'm changing my clothes, I'm getting dressed for the day. And I always feel so much better when I'm just like dressed for the day, when I'm just like ready to rumble, and I'm just like, okay, I have no excuse to like stay in bed, because like, even if I don't do my freaking makeup, like whatever, I look like crap right now, but like, not the biggest deal in the world, okay? It's really not. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Another thing about eating disorder recovery is identifying why. Why are you doing it? And you really need to be real with yourself about this, and it can't just be superficial. If someone's telling you like, oh, you need to do it for your health, like, yeah, that's true, but like if that doesn't resonate with you, then like don't like fucking tell yourself that. I mean, you can tell yourself that because it totally is a valid reason, but I mean, you need to make it something that really resonates with you. And for me, I think what it was that I was just like destroying my relationship with myself, and I was destroying my relationship with others. I was just like, super flaky and didn't follow through on things. I couldn't like get a job, and I was just like so tired and depleted all the time. Like I was barely living my life. Like the first half of 2017, I honestly have no recollection of, because I was so sick and exhausted and dissociative that I just like I don't remember the first half of 2017. And that's really sad to me. And I really, like, I want to remember things in my life, and maybe I don't want to necessarily remember that time, but like, you know, it's scary to me that like, I don't remember like a whole half of a year of my life. Like, I honestly like don't know what happened. I just know that I was really, really sick. Another point I want to make is to have grace with yourself. So going back to the perfectionism thing, I know it can be hard. Like if you have a meal plan, you're seeing a dietitian or whatever, and you screw up one day and you have to drink an Ensure or a Boost or whatever instead of eating a meal, or maybe you like even just like skip. You need to just stay in the moment. You screwed up, have grace with yourself. Like, it's better and like way more effective to have compassion for yourself than it is to be like, oh, I screwed up again, and now like the rest of my day is ruined, so I might as well not even try. Like, I'm such a failure. This isn't about perfectionism. This isn't about failing. This isn't about succeeding. This is not like a trophy you're gonna get when you're in recovery. Like, I have no trophies. Like, I didn't get a certificate. The reward is ongoing. It's not just like a one and done. And I think that is so incredible, and something that people like don't realize when they're so deep in their illness, that the results are ongoing. Like, you get to grow as a person. You get to have this close relationship with yourself that is so sacred and so special. And I'm just like saying this from experience. Like, I love my own company. I love hanging out with myself. I love spending time alone, because it's not really alone. I'm like spending it with someone that like I really care about and that I love and that like I do my best to take care of. So the results are ongoing when you're in recovery. And yes, recovery is fucking hard. I will say it gets easier over time. I don't struggle nearly as much each day as I used to. Like, my eating is very intuitive now. I'm very like on point with what I'm supposed to eat. You know, my weight fluctuates, but I'm human. You know, sometimes I'm stressed, and sometimes it's not food that impacts your weight. I keep an eye on it. I'm actually one of those people that I weigh myself once a week, and have done so for the past 3 years, and that's really helpful for me. Just once. Every Friday, I weigh myself once, I write it down, I see if there's a difference, and I don't focus on the number, but I do keep it in a log, like on paper, because I want to make sure that I'm staying on track, and that my eating disorder brain, because I'm always going to have that somewhere, and that's just the reality of it. Always going to have ED like somewhere in your brain, trying to get back in, and that gets easier over time. But as a way to kind of make sure that that doesn't like trick me or make me think like, oh no, I'm doing fine, when really like maybe I am restricting. I keep track of my weight just once a week, and that might not work for everyone. I know a lot of people like get triggered by that, so that might not work for you. In that case, I highly recommend a dietitian, like over a nutritionist, because a dietitian has different certifications. But if you have a nutritionist you really like, that's fine too. Another thing is journaling. A big part of my recovery was getting back in touch with my creativity, and you don't need to be an artist to be creative. I think all humans are creative in their own way. anything that's like novel or new or original or problem solving, like doing a puzzle, like Sudoku, whatever. That's like creative stuff. My dog is snoring in the background. If you hear that, like, it's not me. Yeah. So, there's just like so many things I want to pack into this video, but I think, how far am I? I'm like at 24 minutes, so I think this is good. So again, this is in honor of Eating Disorder Awareness Week. And I am very proud to say that I have been in recovery for 3 years, almost 3 years. Of course, I have days where I'm like struggling with body image. Of course, I have days where like I don't necessarily feel like eating, but it's gotten so much easier. Like it's not even like at the forefront of my problems. I'm always gonna have problems. People always have problems, and I'm proud to say that I'm not suffering anymore. I definitely am struggling because I'm in my 20s, and your 20s are hard, and I'm like kind of going through a quarter life crisis. It's not related to eating. That's a pretty big deal for me. So I hope this was helpful. I hope someone got at least maybe some comfort or some validation or whatever out of this. This is gonna honestly be kind of vulnerable and hard for me to post because, you know, I don't look like hot Jenny right now. I look like egghead Jenny with a bun and turtle. I look like, you know, Franklin, if that cartoon, the turtle with the glasses. And I can laugh at myself, it's okay. I'm not trying to be self-deprecating, I'm just like having fun. So yeah, I am rambling now, so I'm gonna go. But if anyone like finds these videos helpful, I'm like more than happy to make more about like my experiences and maybe something about like my prolonged exposure therapy or like how I've overcome other things, because I have come a really long way in my life. I'm also in recovery from borderline personality disorder. And I actually am off of my antidepressant now, and I rarely, if ever, take anxiety meds, which both of those things are fine to take. You're not like weak if you take them, but like I had been on those things since I was like 9 years old. So like for me to like be off of them and like be doing decent is pretty huge for me. So let's leave it at that. This is the real goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, my friends. I love you. I hope you are having a week that is not too tough. I hope you are taking care of yourself. I hope you are reaching out, getting the help you need, getting that freaking validation, and living your best life. And if you're not, you're on your way. Don't worry. Be happy. And if you're not happy, cry it out, because that shit helps too. Peace. Bye. Love you.